Let's get straight into it. Sheila, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, let's see. I was born in New York, so I think of myself as a New Yorker, but I grew up moving all over the place because of my father's work to Japan and Germany, Texas, Alabama, Virginia. But I've been in Princeton, New Jersey, not that far from New York, these last 30 years. Let's see, academically, what I studied was English language literature and computer science, and worked as a software engineer and retired about 3 or 4 years ago. I spent about the last 14 or 15 years as an engineer working on the technical and sort of institutional problems of preserving digitized and born digital scholarly literature.
Which is a difficult, complex problem.
There you go. And I have my husband and I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren, all of whom are perfect, of course.
And Sheila, so I was looking through my records, and you've been taking classes with me since 2020, which is quite a while.
A lot.
What was the
That-
first? Go on.
I realized, well, I was thinking back and I was trying to think how did I ever make my way here? I couldn't quite remember. A couple of things are happening all at once. I had retired right about then, and I had determined what I would do when I retired was study Greek. And I had started at the State University of New Jersey. Rutgers is right up the road here, and I had started, with Greek 1. And COVID intervened almost immediately, almost at the same time, which was disruptive. But what I had gotten far enough along to be thinking it's a very very wonderful program there, and I really appreciated it. But I also felt like as a way of learning a language, of learning Greek, I wanted to really know Greek. There were some drawbacks to the way it's sort of classically taught in classics departments in universities in this country. And I felt that what I was learning how to do was how to decode a written text as opposed to learning a language. And so I began looking around, and also, I think I'm kind of a slow learner of languages too. I needed as many different ways I just needed surround sound of different ways of absorbing language, which is, as you get older, is a harder thing to do. And I think I had found a book by the Polis Press on how to learn Greek as a living language, but of course it was a book, and and I was reading it home during COVID. That wasn't working too well either. And somehow, and I really cannot remember I must have just gone following threads.
It was Twitter.
I think I must have just fortunately linked via various networks to a mention on Twitter and followed that up and saw about the courses. And I think right about then, fortunately for me, an LGPSI course was just starting, and I think that's where I began it.
Yes,
and it was great.
Yes,
and so it's been. I think I read that we went through the series on that. I think I made a a dangerous leap into a course on the Psalms in Greek from the Septuagint, which they were intelligible, and I did feel like I could talk with them. And then I found it very useful to go back through really almost from the beginning, again, to do it again and again and again, which seems to help a lot in language learning, at least for me.
Funnily enough.
Start with the Athanas theory, and we had a very moving graduation ceremony to which you were last just a few sessions ago, where a cohort of us graduated from the Athanas series, and we have been continuing on since. It's been terrific.
Yes, that's been terrific. And so you are probably, there's a couple of students who have been with me longer than you. Oh, not many. But what has been the outcome for you in terms of your own ability to read and understand Greek?
Well, I would say it's been enormously helpful. I feel, again, I'm a little slow, and as you will know, we've been doing this in the midst that we had a very disruptive, quite apart from COVID, a very disruptive year where we were basically living on the road for about a year, my husband and I, for various reasons. So it was a good way for what in the first place to maintain the thread. But the other thing is that I found, although I don't feel that I am as fluent as I would like to be, for example, trying to speak
Yes.
Greek, as many of the peers in these classes seem to be very, very good at doing. What I do find is that it finally took that I would learn to read first. Don't read something. Don't parse it. Don't puzzle it. Just read what you can read. Then go back. Then work it out. Then really make sure you understand it. But I feel like I've finally learned how to read, and that's been really a lovely, lovely gift.
Yes.
Um,
Succeeded then. Based on what you had first written to me about the desire, yes, not just to translate, but to read, and here you are, you feel.
and so that's really, and so now I'm just enjoying reading with other people who are extremely motivated to learn and to read and to share what they've learned and to share the resources that they found in class and outside of class. That's been another very lovely part of Seamus University.
Excellent. So if someone was thinking about signing up for the first time, what would you tell them to expect, or what would be some words of advice for them?
Well, let's see. I think first of all, a really great environment to do something that's hard to do when you get past being a school-age child, say, which is to drop the sort of inhibition or self-consciousness of trying something new and bumbling through things. That that's just, you accept that that's the norm. How else are you going to learn something like this? Just do it. Just step into it, and you just do it. And I think I think people who have come to this class come to it from many different motivations and many different degrees of background, but everybody, I think, brings a great spirit of stepping out there on the ledge and just doing it. And I think that's a very useful mindset to bring. I think people know that it takes a lot of immersion to learn a language, to have patience with yourself, to do it again, keep working at it. That will be necessary to do. There's no royal road to Greek either, any more than there is to math. But this is a lovely way to stay in it.
That's very, very helpful. Thanks for your words of encouragement. It's been wonderful to have you, and we look forward to having you in some more classes.
I'll be there for sure.
Excellent.